Namaste, sir. Namaste, ma'am. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste, Cisco. Everybody, namaste. Good
Can we
afternoon
just
once
check
again.
mics? Once our panelists' mic.
Dr. Ajit, this voice is clear not because that day it was not clear.
It's good, sir. It's good. It's perfect now.
Thank you very much.
But you need to speak a little louder, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. Is it fine now?
Yes.
Thank you, Gita ma'am. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon,
Is my
sir,
mic
once
clear?
again. हाँ सर बहुत अच्छी
Yes,
आवाज
sir.
आ रही
Yes,
है सर.
absolutely, sir. Absolutely. It's
Great.
perfect.
Thank you so much.
डॉक्टर हित ऐसे लग रहा है मेरे सामने ही बैठे हुए हैं.
Oh, great.
पुणे से आकर के. नमस्ते तिवारी सर.
Namaste.
Just my audio check, Ajit and friends. I
All
hope you
great,
can
sir. All perfect, sir. All perfect.
Perfect. Great.
Good afternoon. Audio check from my side as well.
Yes,
Fantastic,
great, sir.
Dr. Mahen.
Thank you.
Hi everyone, this is Dr. Saurabh. Is it clear? Voice is
Hello, very,
Yes, sir.
very
Yes,
clear, Dr.
perfect.
Saurabh.
Perfectly fine, sir. Perfectly fine.
Perfectly
Very
fine.
good. Very good. Amazing. Okay.
I think we are good to go.
We are live at YouTube as well now. Someone from our team, can you please send the reminders? I think we should start, sir, if you say. Or shall we wait for a minute or two?
Because there are more than 500 registrations, so now people are joining Sunday. So
Let's
I
start.
think five minutes.
Dr. Ajit, we start,
Start,
and
okay.
there is no way we could be accommodating all the registrants. Yeah, my suggestion.
Anything is fine, sir. Definitely. I mean, we can accommodate up to 1,000 here in and unlimited in the YouTube. That's not a problem. But yeah, I think we should start. We should not get late because it's already 6 minutes past 12. Even I suggest that if everyone is okay with that.
Yes.
Yeah, perfectly fine. I think we should start.
Yes.
Shall I start, sir?
Yes, over to you, Gary.
Good afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome to all the respected speakers, advisory board members, healthcare professionals, researchers, students, and participants joining us today for this landmark occasion, the virtual inauguration of Institute of Health Economics and Policy Research, IHEPR. On behalf of the IHEPR, in collaboration with Climate Research Solution and Dual Sphere Consulting, I am delighted to welcome to you all for this virtual inauguration and expert webinar. Today's session on Future of Healthcare, HEOR, Digital Innovation, and Women Leadership brings together an exceptional panel of national and global experts who are actively shaping the future of healthcare, policy research, digital health, and innovation. As healthcare continues to evolve rapidly, domains such as HEOR, digital transformation, and women-led leaderships initiatives becoming increasingly important in improving patient care, healthcare accessibility, and evidence-based decision-making. We are truly honored to have with us such distinguished dignitaries and advisory board members from academia, industry, clinical research, and healthcare leadership. I would like to acknowledge and welcome Dr. Pramod Kumar Rajput, Advisory Board Member, IHEPR, former SRVP, Candela Pharma, Director of Boards, Climate. Dr. Pramal Tiwari, Advisory Board Member, IHEPR, Professor and Head, Department of Pharmacy Practice, NIPER, Mohali. Dr. Mahendra Rai, Advisory Board Member, IHEPR, Vice President and Regional Head, HEOR, Real World Evidence and Medical Affairs at Trinity Life Sciences. Dr. Saurav Kumar, Advisory Board Member, Principal and Head, Real World Evidence and Health Economic Studies, Equivia. Dr. Hit Sharma, Advisory Board Member, IHEPR, Medical Director, Medical Affairs, Clinical Research and Pharmacovigilance at Serum Institute of India Private Limited. Dr. Geeta Menon, Advisory Board Member, IHEPR, former scientist, ICMR, New Delhi. Dr. Ajit Singh, Founder and Director, IHEPR, Founder and CEO, Climate and Curio. And Dr. Richa Goyal, Founder and Director, IHEPR, Co-Founder and CEO, Dual Sphere Consulting, Singapore. Your presence today truly inspires all the aspiring healthcare professionals and researchers attending this session. Before we proceed further, I would like to thank all the participants for attending this session today. We hope this session will provide meaningful knowledge, career-oriented guidance, and valuable networking opportunities for everyone present here. Without any further delay, I would like to invite Dr. Ajit Singh to introduce us to IHEPR and share the vision and objectives behind this initiative. Dr. Ajit Singh, the virtual stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gary. Thank you very much for this wonderful occasion, and all of you are joining here. It's like amazing to see the panel, the advisory board, and the number of audiences joining here and in YouTube. So it is so good. So I would like all of you to celebrate this moment with all of us. Like today, we are at the urge like to inaugurate and to launch our platform, which is IHEPR virtually. Okay. Though we have done this, with a very loud event in Hyderabad on 29th of the April at Sultan Ulum College of Pharmacy in front of 1200 participants in the live conference, which was ICAPS 2026, and it was done by our eminent sir, the director of board, Dr. Pramod Kumar Rajput sir. He was present there and he inaugurated our institute. He launched our institute and made this platform available for everyone. So again, I would like to invite all of you to this wonderful virtual inauguration of the Institute of Health Economics and Virtual and Outcome Policy Research, which is IHEPR, and to the future of healthcare, which is one of the very hot topic, and we are conducting this first expert webinar on it, and that is like we are showcasing all the domains here, what we are doing, how we are doing, and how we are going to help people, right, and how this institute is going to help people, right. And we also have today, at this very precious moment, very precious occasion, we have our all advisory board members with us, to join us and to, celebrate this moment and to talk to you all, right? So, first of all, thank you very much for joining. Thank you, Dr. Pramod Kumar Rajput sir. Thank you, Pramil sir. Thank you, Dr. Mahendra Rai sir. Thank you, Saurabh sir. Thank you, Hit Sharma sir. And we have with us a very precious guest and our advisory board member, Dr. Geeta Menon ma'am. So she has been the former scientist F, one of the eminent position in ICMR, and she has been the associate director at the National Institute of Statistics as well. So Dr. Geeta ma'am, thank you very much for joining us, and a most welcome to if I say my partner in IHEPR, Dr. Richa Goyal, who is the founder and director at IHEPR and co-founder and CEO at Dual Sphere Consulting Singapore, and our host, Dr. Gary, our intern, our fellow at our HEOR fellowship March batch, right? So, and along with that, all of you, all the people here, all the audience here, from different industries, different hospital settings, and our collaborative universities, and all the students who are joining us. So let me just take you through the IHEPR. So IHEPR is one of the first of its kind in the world. We have come up with this institute, if you can see this. So yeah. So this is the website of IHEPR. So let me tell you the story, because see, the stories are, sometimes very wonderful and good to tell the stories, and good to tell the, the actual course of action, what has happened in the past or what is going to happen, right? So I and Dr. Richa have connected, though we are, connected in the professional domain for last 4.5 years with Dr. Mahendra Rai sir and Dr. Richa Goyal, madam. They are associated with GLIMAT for last 4.5 years, and we have conducted on and off multiple events, right? But for last 6-7 months, we were very aggressive to develop the HEOR domain in India. And we have launched first our 3 months course in HEOR and HTA, and then we conducted the internship in HEOR, and then we recently launched one of the first fellowship in HEOR in India, which is virtual for 7 months. It is going on with the university affiliations like Gitanjali University Udaipur with our hospital partners, in Chennai, in Hyderabad, Tambra Medical Center and Research Institute. The fellowship is going on. So we were planning, some more events, some more courses, some more, projects for, India and, other countries, the globally some projects we are proposing. So we, found a very important gap in case of education, in case of trainings, in case of, the policy making, in case of, market research, in case of, health technology assessment. We found that there is no organization, no such organization worldwide, which can give all the things at one place, where you can see everything in one platform, where any, institute, the students, whether those are, from the hospital settings, the clinicians, investigators, whether those are, people from governments, those are people from insurance companies, or the insurance providers. So anyone who wants to get such services or trainings or education, there is no such platform available. So I and Dr. Risha thought to go to establish one of this first of its kind in the world, that is Institute of Health Economics and Policy Research. Let me tell you guys, this is this will provide you everything at one place, from the trainings, from the education, from the courses, small courses, long courses, diplomas, fellowships, everything at one place. And we will be, our main task, our main agenda of starting IHEPR is, to provide the best solutions and to give the best trained, human beings to the market, so they can handle the things in the future and to make, the best policies at this, right? So you can explore our website. I'll not take the time which is, allotted to everyone. I think, I will stop here. And with that, I will invite all of you to visit our programs. We have launched, multiple programs right now, short-term programs, fellowships in HTA, executive diploma in HEOR, and there is a foundation course in economics to the advanced level and expert level, right? You please visit the website. There are a little things to change. It will be changed by tomorrow, but everything is set. You can visit our website. Okay, so I invite all of you to visit our website and be with us till the end. You are going to get a lot of learnings, lot of understandings, lot of questions. Let me tell you one more thing. We got almost 200 plus questions in advance from the audience. So we sum up all the questions, and we made 10 very important questions. And in prior, we have asked our eminent speakers to go through those questions and answer them to all of you, and to clarify whatever you have asked. And then definitely we'll be taking all the live questions as well after the session. So with that, thank you very much everyone for joining. Every person here on the dais, if I say my panelists, my advisory board, my partner, and all the students, all the participants, thank you very much. And one last instruction, which I have to say, that, if you are there with us and filling the attendance form called feedback form, then only you are going to get the webinar certificate. Okay, so it is very important to tell you guys. Thank you very much. Over to you, Gary.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ajit Singh, for that insightful introduction and for highlighting the vision and mission of IHEPR. It's my honor to invite Dr. Geeta R. Menon to address the audience and share her valuable insights with us today. Over to you, ma'am.
Ma'am, you have to unmute yourself.
Unmute, please.
So good afternoon, everyone, and a warm welcome to the launch of the first course on Foundations of Health Economics and Healthcare Systems by the Institute of Health Economics and Outcome Policy Research. I would like to begin by congratulating the founder members for conceiving and launching this timely and much needed initiative. The moment Dr. Pramil Tiwari called me and told me about this, I said, yes, I am part of this initiative. Your vision and commitment has created an important platform for building knowledge, strengthening capacity, and nurturing future leaders in this field. This is a very significant step towards building capacity in an area that is essential for evidence-informed health policy and stronger health systems. I come from a government setup and I know the importance of this initiative. This course is especially important at a time when healthcare systems are facing increasing demands, constrained resources, and rapidly evolving technologies. Today, policymakers are not only interested to know whether a technology or intervention works or not, but also whether it gives value for money. So therefore, understanding health economics and healthcare systems is very essential for all the new graduates who qualify in any discipline for making informed policy decisions, improving efficiency, ensuring equitable access to healthcare, and also maximizing the health outcomes for our population. This course will equip participants with the foundational understanding that is needed to evaluate healthcare interventions, assess value for money, and support efficient and equitable healthcare delivery. It will also highlight the importance of understanding the need for statistics, a very important subject, and health economics to generate robust evidence and translate that evidence into effective health policy and decision making. In today's environment, we are dealing with data, and data-driven and evidence-informed policies are essential for improving health outcomes and ensuring optimal use of limited resources. There is often a limited coordination between the government hiring systems, I had said that earlier also, and the institutes that are specializing in health economics, statistics, and economic research that leads to a gap between the growing need for technical expertise and the availability of trained professionals within this public sector. Strengthening collaboration between government departments and these institutes through fellowships, joint training programs, internships, and research partnerships that can help in developing a sustainable talent pool, and ensure that evidence-based policy making is supported by a strong technical capacity. I am confident that this initiative will help create such a collaboration and build a strong multidisciplinary talent pool capable of supporting research, policy formulation, and health system strengthening in the years to come. I therefore extend my sincere best wishes for the success of this course and congratulate everyone who is participating in this webinar and those who will be joining us in the future and continue to associate with this excellent initiative. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Geeta, for your encouraging and valuable address. Now, I'd like to invite Dr. Pramod Kumar Rajput for the next advisory board address. Sir, we are pleased to have you with us today. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. Very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody who has joined here on this great platform where we are inaugurating. So distinguished, respected dignitaries, my esteemed colleagues, the industry leaders, the dear students, and the future change makers. Because why I'm saying I'm taking the word from Geeta Madam, because the students are the future change makers. That's why I'm addressing them. A very warm greeting to all of you, and that too on a very important day where we are celebrating as a Happy Mother's Day. So Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers and to all the children for their respected mothers as well. Because when we are getting the blessings of the mothers and launching this program on the Mother's Day, I'm sure this program is going to flourish not only in India but across the globe. And that is the basic requirement which is needed. So thank you, Dr. Gary, and for a nice introduction, inviting us for making it happen, and real gratitude to Dr. Ajit Singh for setting up the tone. Thank you, Dr. Richa, for putting your hard effort, work and all to make the things happen. So my heartiest congratulations to both of you and everybody.
Thank you very much.
And it's always said, the future belongs not to those who wait, but to those who shape it with the knowledge, courage and purpose. So believe you me, it is our truly privilege, because as advisory board member, I'm taking the name of everybody, and an honor to be a part of this landmark moment, the virtual inauguration of the Institute of Health Economics and Outcome Policy, IHEPR, which we call. Today is not just the launch of an institution. It is the beginning of the real moment, I was just writing down a couple of the words which Dr. Geeta was saying. So I'm saying that it's the beginning of a movement that brings together the science, the strategy, innovation, and the purpose to redefine the future of the healthcare. India today is probably known as the pharmacy of the world. We all know. But the vision ahead is by 2047, we should be a power of pharmacy. And that is the reason these basic things are really required. Because this transformation means moving from volume to the value, generic strength to the innovation leadership, and the cost advantage to the outcome excellence, which is the real need of the hour. So let me emphasize, the winners cannot be achieved by manufacturing alone, right? It requires research, evidence, policy thinking, and innovation. And that is exactly where institutions like IHEPR, Institute of Economic and Outcomes Policy Research, play a vital role. And that's why there's a changing face of the healthcare. Volume to value, from treatment to outcomes, for intuition to evidence. And believe you me, whosoever is attending and listening it on the YouTube or going to listen it, you'll agree that healthcare is evolving rapidly. And at the center of its transformation lies HEOR, which is Health Economics and Outcome Research. So I can highlight why the IHEPR is there, what Dr. Jeet has said about the training, education, diploma, fellowship, and I was just writing it down. What Madam has said, value for the money, data-driven, optimal policy. I want to put it here that in India, Ayushman Bharat has already started. 2018, this is one of the finest examples, right, which helps improve the affordability, accessibility, and sustainability of the schemes, support the policy decisions for the better resource allocation. So when the government has already taken initiative, now it has to be expanded on the bigger level, because the rising healthcare costs across the world, not only in India, across the world, focus is on the value-based healthcare as it supports the evidence-based decision-making. Real-world evidence is required in patient-centric care. That's why we focus on the patient, and the patient-centric treatment models are very important. I repeat, not only the patient-centric care, but the patient treatment models are required. Needed for the data-driven, what just Dr. Geeta has said, rapid growth of the digital healthcare system, ecosystem everywhere. Out of the people who are attending here, at least 70% people will be having the digital healthcare ecosystem in their hand, or they may be monitoring it. So it is happening across the strong career opportunities in the pharma, biotech, medtech, hospitals, consulting, and policy sector. And that is the reason. Believe me, when I was reading it, I was going through the entire brochure. I thought, oh my God, that's a big reason, because IHPR is an ecosystem of transformation. Not only an academic platform, not only what you said, the fellowship program or certificate. No, it's a transformation, because it identifies the unmet healthcare needs, which just now narrated. It measures the clinical and economical values of innovation. It helps to starters to prove affordability, outcomes, and the policy relevance. So my clear message to the student of B Pharma, PharmD, or M Pharma, or whosoever the professionals who are joining here present today or will be listening this is a time as IHEPR build future-ready professionals, bridge the gaps between the academia and industry, create the thought leadership, not only the leadership, the thought leadership in HEOR and policy, and strengthening the journey towards the global healthcare leadership while inspiring the right action. Because knowledge without action is just information. Knowledge without action is just information. Let us not forget, in the future of the healthcare, the skills will matter more than degrees. I repeat, the skill will matter more than degrees. Value will matter more than the volume, and the purpose will matter more than the position. So I extend my heartfelt congratulations to the visionary founder, Dr. Ajit Singh and Dr. Richa Goyal, and the entire team and the respected advisory board members and every contributor who was behind this show on the Institute of Health Economic and Outcome Policy Research, making it a reality. Today we have started it. The journey has started, and we have to go long away, because we have to build not only India, we have to expand it to the entire world, and that's the need of the hour. So thank you so much once again for inviting me and making me a part of this great initiative which you are building, not only in India, again I say, to the entire world, and making India as a power of the pharmacy in the coming time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pramod Kumar Rajput, for your insightful words and guidance. Moving forward, I would like to invite Dr. H. Sharma for the next advisory board address.
Thank you so much. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. Am I well audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay, thank you. So before I start, let me congratulate Climate Research Solutions, IHEPR, and Dual Sphere Consulting for taking this initiative in guiding students and professionals on how health economics and outcomes research can play a major role in planning their career. HEOR, as we all know, has become an increasingly important in today's healthcare landscape because healthcare systems across the world are under pressure to deliver better patient outcomes at sustainable costs. Let me give you an example. Earlier, approval of a drug or a therapy depended largely on safety and efficacy of that drug. Today, patients ask, does it improve quality of life? Is it cost effective? Does it reduce hospitalization or complications? So HEOR helps answers all these questions using economic and outcomes data. I'm working in Serum Institute, which is a biologicals company. We manufacture vaccines. And I must say that big pharma companies these days are increasingly involving HEOR in drug development early on to make market strategies. Demand is increasing for professionals who can combine clinical understanding, analytical thinking, and business strategy. This makes HEOR one of the most influential areas in modern healthcare and pharmaceutical sciences. So with this, I won't take much time. We have an eminent panel of experts who will guide you through in case you wish to take up this field of health economics and outcome research. You have any questions, feel free to ask us and we'll guide you through. But this is a very important subject these days when it comes to pharma companies. So I think most of you should take it up. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your valuable perspectives with us. Next, it's my privilege to invite Dr. Pramil Tiwari for the advisory board address. Sir, welcome once again and over to you.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon once again, esteemed members of the board, dear participants, ladies and gentlemen. I'm witnessing another turning point in the education and training of pharmacy and healthcare system. And trust me, friends, leaders are not the ones who solve the day-to-day problems. They are the ones who look 25 years or possibly 50 years ahead and start working on the same day. It's a historic day, sure. Dr. Rajput mentioned it. It's also historic because this is going to be a turning point. And I won't take long, Dr. Gary. I'm reminded 20 years back, we had a turning point. It was not intended, but I would say it is a matter of immense satisfaction to see our students working in the domains of health economics, outcome research, market access, and a variety of things. And it hasn't come easy. Yes, they have built up upon their backgrounds in healthcare, EBM, and very correctly pointed out by Dr. Geeta Madam in biostatistics. So, my dear young friends, before I close, I only call upon you, each one of you, to take a macro view, a larger view of the healthcare system if you wish to survive and succeed in this domain. Thank you so much, Dr. Gary. Nothing else to add.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pramil Tiwari, for your motivating address. We will now invite Dr. Saurav Kumar for the next advisory board address. Over to you, sir.
Hi, everyone. I hope everybody can hear me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. I'm sure a lot of people are from different zones. So myself, Dr. Saurabh, and I lead the real world evidence and health economics for the India business from IQVIA. And like all the academicians and eminent people have mentioned, first and foremost, thanks for getting me on board of advisory board of this really interesting concept. I don't think it exists in India at this moment, this kind of a training and this kind of a structure that Ajit and Richa has put together. And when it comes to the trends, been into HUR and RW for last close to 8 to 10 years. And initially I was with the global, and for last 3 years I'm with India business. And the kind of changes that are happening in the market from a subject perspective are immense. I'm not sure if but India had set up their HTA body in 2018. And then they have started to do all the cost effectiveness analysis, all the real world evidence. ICMRs is also involved into it. So a lot of new aspects have come in where the knowledge of health economics as well as real world evidence, all these aspects are extremely new and are rapidly, I would say, progressing. COVID actually led to acceleration of all these real world evidence things and health economics. Just to give you an example, all the data that was coming that the patients who have diabetes are at more risk, or elderly are at more risk, that was not coming from clinical trials, that was coming from the real world data, that was coming from the health economics part of it, that what the costing should be. So all that was, so I mean, I think all the attendees on this call have had a real experience to see how real world evidence actually has an impact on the healthcare system. And that kind of a changes are coming up in India side also now, with all the chronic diseases that are coming up, oncology, cardiology, those would demand all these kind of health economic studies, real world studies. And I think it's a very apt time for Dr. Ajit and Dr. Richa to come up with this kind of institute, because this would be really helpful to prepare the people from a professional perspective, and also take on the challenges which are, I mean, you won't find those challenges actually in your books. That would be a real life challenges that we face or the industry faces on a daily basis, and how to solve them. So those kind of would be really helpful. And that's where I think it would have a maximum impact. So I would urge each and everyone to leverage the max, and all the best to all the attendees as well as to IHEPR, and good luck. And I wish to see it really getting successful and people getting knowledge out of it, and it would be really immensely helpful from a growth perspective. And thanks again.
Thank you so much, sir, for your insightful remarks. Now it's my privilege to invite Dr. Mahendra Rai for next advisory board address. Sir, we look forward to hearing from you.
Thank you. Thank you. And it's my privilege to be part of this August gathering today. And again, privilege to be part of this advisory board. Would like to congratulate Dr. G, Dr. Richa for kind of coming up with this concept of this institute, because I can relate to this. I'll start with my story. And again, the story starts where Dr. Pramil Tiwari was talking about. So I think 20 years back, HEOR kind of started in India. Professor Tiwari was instrumental as a launch pad, and he kind of consulted this company to start and where to go for right talent. So that was his story. But to be honest, I mean, I had no clue at that point in time what HEOR is. And that was because there were no structured courses, there were no institutions which were actually teaching HEOR as a discipline. So for me, it was all the on-job training. I learned HEOR through doing projects, through organizational mentorship, and there were people in the company who were kind of training us. So the organizations at that point in time, they were willing to invest time in training fresh talent, and that's where we all kind of learned. And I think Dr. Richa, Dr. Saurav, we all kind of have learned HEOR through that kind of a pathway. That model worked then, but today what has happened is the industry has changed. It is evolving, and I think that kind of world no longer exists. So that is the change, and I think everybody would agree with me. What has happened with the kind of advent of AI, and AI has accelerated the evidence generation, analytics, everything. And as a result of that, most of the pharma companies, consulting firms, and even service providers, they don't have luxury to train people. And I mean, we would definitely not want to train or have very kind of detailed training programs. And as a hire myself, if I have to hire people from or if I have to hire fresh talent, I would definitely want to look at people who understand HUR principles, who understand what are the these economic analysis, what is the logic behind that, a fair understanding of what real world evidence is, how it impacts the overall decision making in the overall reimbursement process of the products, and also how data and AI they can be used responsibly in the decision making. So that is where an institute like IHEPR, the Institute of Health Economics and Policy Research, it becomes very critical. And what it does is that it bridges that gap between academic education and the industry reality. So, I mean, once you enter the industrial setup, the reality is very different. I mean, we have learned, I was a pharmacy student myself. I know that that created a base for me to be in industry, but then what I actually do is pretty much different from what I learned, what I read in my books. So that's where an institute like this bridges that gap. And when you enter the workforce, and specifically for HUR, so when I entered, my question was that what is HUR? But probably once somebody does a tailor-made course like this, your question would be like, how do I apply my HEOR learnings in my day-to-day job? So that is the difference that institute like this will bring in. And then also, I mean, we know with AI, what has happened is that there are people who have some hand-on exposure. There are structured trainings that are available. So what will happen is that it is no more a requirement. I mean, it is a bare minimum expectation that any person who's hiring for such roles would expect from students like you. So I think that is where it becomes very important to do these kind of tailor-made programs, understand, and then also it's important that you just don't restrict yourself from doing this academic program, but also have some relevant trainings. You have to kind of apply these concepts in some real work, because that is where you actually learn. You make mistakes, you relearn. So that's where it's important. So I think it's a very welcome step. This is something that we missed at our point in time. We had the luxury of learning on job. I don't think that luxury exists right now. So you will have to learn doing these courses and then applying it in some kind of projects that you do, some kind of internships that you do. And I kind of encourage every one of you to kind of take up such courses, learn on your just learn by yourself, use AI to the possible extent. I mean, don't depend on AI, but leverage AI, and that's where you will be industry ready, and you will have that edge as compared to your other peers in case you're doing all this. So would like to congratulate everyone, and look forward to people kind of taking up such courses and be industry ready, make our lives easy to hire you guys. So yeah, thank you everyone.
Thank you so much, sir, for your encouraging words and guidance. We'll now proceed to the vote of thanks by Dr. Richa Goyal. Ma'am, over to you.
Thanks, Carrie. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from all parts of the world. Um, Thanks all the advisory board members for setting up the context, and special thanks to Dr. Pramil Tiwari. Why? Because, sir, I am also part of your story, which you started in 2007. Thank you, sir, for bringing HEOR into our lives when we didn't even knew what HEOR meant. And for a large number of years, we didn't knew. We kept on learning, we kept on evolving, following the principle of learn, unlearn, relearn. And that's what we do today as well. Right. With this, I would like to thank each and every one of you who's present here for taking out your time on a Sunday morning, afternoon, evening, and to all the eminent members here. A special thanks to my partner in the institute, Dr. Ajit Singh, for making this vision, mission, and dream possible. And while we were conceptualizing this IHEPR, there were times when we were awake at 4 a.m. at night. There are certain dreams which don't let you sleep. And this is one of them. And this will not be complete without the support of each and every one of you. Looking forward to see you all on the other side, enrolling in our courses, fellowships, and diplomas. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, for being there with us today on this historical moment.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We'll now begin the expert webinar session. Our first session is on HEOR core domains, which will be delivered by Dr. Richa Goyal, ma'am. The stage is yours, ma'am.
Oh, again me. Thanks, Gary. Okay, so let me just quickly share my screen. Please let me know once it is visible.
It is visible, Dr. Richa.
Okay.
Make it full screen.
Put it full screen.
Sure. Done. Okay. Dr. Ajit and Gary, please be the time checkers. Okay. Your reminders will be more than appreciated. Okay. Right. So let's start with core domains of expertise in HEOR. What do they mean? What do they stand? But before that, a bit of background about myself, taking cues from what our eminent advisory board members have said. First of all, like Mahendra said, where do you find these courses? What shall we do? We learned on the job. I'm also part of the same group, I would say, who learned all the nuances of HEOR on the job. My first question that was asked in the interview was, what is ITT population? I said, I don't know. But I got selected because at that time, HEOR was very new. I cracked other interview questions like summarizing a paper, making some graphs, some tables, and everything. But today, as rightly pointed out, this is not the expectation. When we interview whether freshers or whether experienced people, there is a bare minimum requirement for the understanding of the concept so that people can have good and appropriate jobs and have a bright future ahead. So IHEPR is an initiative to help the students to show them the pathway for moving ahead, right? So coming up with the content of the session. So today we'll cover the domains, the basic domains, health economics and outcomes research, real world evidence, health technology assessment, market access in healthcare, public health research, AI in healthcare and digital health innovation. Looks a lot, but today we'll keep it to the very basic, and we will cover the definitions, or I would say the practical implications, because see, you can go back and Google the definitions, it will come, but let's discuss how practically they are applicable in today's scenario, keeping from the perspective of industry as well as the education. Okay, pillars of HEOR. As Geeta ma'am has rightly pointed out, we have optimal use of limited resources and we have to optimize them accordingly. And as Hit Sharma sir mentioned, not only the cost, but the quality of life or what the treatment will give out for a patient and the caregiver is also important. So, health economics and outcomes research covers that aspect. Gone are the days, let's say, one treatment for a particular therapy area was applicable to all the patients. Now, the care is customized, the patient care is customized, and the caregivers are also equally important, as well as important are the patients. In health economics and outcomes research, we not only cover the clinical efficacy, safety of the drug, but we also cover important aspects like quality of life, pricing, and reimbursement. Once the drug is in the market, there is somebody who will cover the cost. If it is covered by the patient, it is called as the out of pocket expense. The cost can be covered by the providers, the insurance companies, or the government or the regulatory bodies, right? Who will bear that cost? If that cost is borne by somebody, what burden it will add to that person or the society? See, somebody has to pay for the treatment, right? Who pays and what are the implications? What are the consequences of that are all covered in the aspect of health economics and outcomes research. Now, let's relate a few of these concepts to your day to day studies as a student. Okay. So, when I was in my master's in pharmacy, I had a 2-month project in Punjab University Health Center. So, what I was asked to do, I was asked to observe the pattern of prescription of antihistaminics. How many antihistaminics are prescribed? What is the cost? What is the age group that takes it? Okay, which antihistaminic is prescribed the most? What is the cost of A versus B? So let's say if we are evaluating the cost of the minimum cost of a drug that is prescribed, it comes under the cost minimization analysis. If you add effectiveness, efficacy, safety also to it, it becomes the cost effectiveness analysis, right? You add the utility values, it becomes the cost utility analysis. So this concept is not something which is very, very new. It's just that we study this in pieces in a bit of an unstructured way in our course curriculum, right? But there are certain concepts, if we focus on them, we'll be able to join the dots. When I was in my bachelor's and master's, my teachers asked me one question, the same question I'll ask everyone today. How many of us are aware what kind of medications are used in our household? Are we aware what kind of medications our grandparents, parents are kept there in their medical box? Are we aware? Are we aware what kind of salt or the chemical composition is there in the medicine? Who is the manufacturer of all these medicines, right? Is it by GSK, Pfizer, AstraZeneca? Which company? If not, start looking at it today. As it is said, charity begins at home. Start looking at the medicine box at home. Read about them. If there is any antihypertensive, anti-diabetic, or thyroid medicine, just read about it. You should be aware what is happening in the household, and then you will be able to replicate it to the society. Second question, since we are talking about payers and providers, how many of us have our insurance policies, health insurance policies, accidental policies, anti-cancer policies? Maybe some of us are students, it's not applicable to us, but do we know in our household which type of insurance policies our parents or our grandparents hold? If not, ask from them today. as a homework. So I'm giving you 2 tasks. Read about what kind of medications are used at your household, what kind of salts in the sense active pharmaceutical ingredients are there in those medicines, and which are the pharmaceutical companies making them. Second task is, do they have health insurance policies? What kind of insurance policies? Okay, because then, so see, it's all around you. You just have to connect the dots and relate with it. Now, quickly, why do we need HEOR, health economics and outcomes research evidence? I hope all of us know about clinical trials. Since I cannot see the screen, I consider it as a yes. Okay, so why do we need health economics and outcomes research studies or real world evidence study when we have clinical trials with us, right? So in a clinical trial, everything is controlled, right from patient's diet to temperature to the routine, whatever efficacy or the effectiveness and safety measures are there, they are under a controlled environment. But in health economics and outcomes research and the real world evidence study, the exact impact comes out in the open when the drug is prescribed to common people, unrestricted environment, across demographics, across geographical variations, across genetic variation. That is when it comes into the picture. To identify the unmet need, sorry, health economics and outcomes research comes into picture. Also, to promote patient-centric research, right? As Dr. Rajput said, patient treatment models are very important. So health economics and outcomes research studies help in formulating those models. Help in evaluating cost containment strategies. A drug should be sold at what price? What should be the threshold? What should be the economic burden? Let's say if a government of a country is funding a particular drug and something new they have to fund, how much more financially the government has to spend on that drug? Okay, right. So those kinds of calculations are done in health economics and outcomes research study. As I said, adapting to different patient populations as per their demographic, their quality of life, their genetic variations, and responding to market changes and environment. A few years back, COVID stuck, right? Some of us have worked extensively on it. Dr. H. Sharma sir can give more examples as required. So what happened after COVID? There has been certain amendments which have been added to certain clinical trials that were going on. The amendments have been added in the protocols, which says there might be certain changes because of COVID-19. There can be a delay in, let's say, patient enrollment, or maybe some of the drugs acting differently because the patient has suffered from COVID. So all these kind of historical changes are also taken into consideration in real world evidence. I remember a personal story here. I remember I was expecting my child after the COVID, right? And my gynecologist said, right, that get a COVID vaccination first, then only the delivery can happen. So, and I was very apprehensive, but then he assured, like after 3 months of pregnancy, it is safe to have that medicine, have that vaccination. So, but all these are environmental changes, genetic changes, which add up to us, right? So, health economics and outcomes research studies and real world evidence studies help us in evaluating those, and to comply with something called as the HTA submission. We will come to it in the further slide. Real world evidence, beautiful flower. Okay, so real world evidence, the evidence that is collected from the real world evidence studies is called as the real world evidence. And from this, various insights can be generated. Okay, and the kind of study designs that are generally followed for real world evidence studies include observational studies, registry studies, patient charts, electronic medical records, electronic health records, claims database studies. These all form part of the real world evidence study. It helps in evaluating the long-term treatment effectiveness, the consequence, helps in understanding the patient journey along the way, evaluating disease pathology, epidemiology, and the unmet needs. Of course, to gain insights to long-term safety, effectiveness, compliance, adherence, and comparative effectiveness. Again, a homework for adherence. Some of us have at home kind of a medicine box, right? Which has either Monday to Sunday labeled on it, or it is as per the dates of the month, right? Have you ever noticed it at home? Right? If not, do it today and go and see what kind of patients need that kind of adherence box at home. As I said, start learning from home itself. Now, I hope we all are aware about ISPOR, International Society of Pharmacoeconomics and Outcomes Research. It's a non-profit body which conducts a lot of workshops, and along with its presence at a global level, there are many regional chapters which are conducted. In fact, in our country only, we have different regional chapters for ISPOR. Okay, so a few learnings why RW is important from the perspectives of ISPOR. It complements evidence for the clinical trial. See, RWE and clinical trials both are equally important. It's not that one can take the place of the other. No, that's not going to happen. So, just to be aligned with what is found in the clinical trial and what is not found, RWE is important. Helps in taking healthcare decision making about the product life cycle, coverage, reimbursement, and helps in clinical practice. Enhances understanding of patient outcomes, long-term effectiveness, quality of life, etc. Supports health system value assessments, provides insights into resource use, health utilization, economic impact, and support value-based healthcare. Rajput sir also pointed out very rightly to Ayushman Bharat, PMJY, then HTA India. So supporting the evidence for all these, also the real world evidence is important. In fact, at a company perspective, we do a lot of RWE studies, and the evidence is submitted to all these HTA bodies itself. Enables research in areas where trials are not feasible. Rare diseases, long-term outcomes, comparative effectiveness, where randomized trials are not possible, or you have to take a quick decision. Okay, then this comes into picture. We work a lot with HTA bodies, health technology assessment bodies, and sometimes when the evidence is not enough, they just simply ask us, can you do another real world evidence study, a follow-up study, let's say for 6 months to 1 year, and get the evidence, because the evidence is not sufficient. So then real world evidence comes into picture. Health technology assessment bodies. Firstly, homework to everyone. If you know, these are the HTA bodies and they are applicable for certain countries. Okay, just to keep everyone engaged, can you quickly type in the chat window which HTA body is for which country? In the meantime, I'll explain. HTA, Health Technology Assessment, is applicable not only for drugs, it is for medical devices, vaccines, medical and surgical procedures, prevention, rehabilitation, and healthcare services. It refers to systematic evaluation of properties, effects, and impacts of health technology. HTA is the body which guides the regulatory bodies and helps them in taking the decision for reimbursement of all these products and services. Okay, when we submit the evidence to HTA body, not only the clinical trial evidence, but evidence from a systematic review, budget impact model, cost effectiveness model, and a global value dossier. All this is an HTA topic nomination forms in some countries. All this, along with real world evidence studies as required, is submitted to the HTA body so that they can help in the reimbursement and the price positioning of the drug. Market access. Market access refers to ability of patients to get the access at the right time, right place, and the right price within the healthcare system. So for this, time, place, and price all are very important. So it ensures that the patient receives timely access, how much is the spending, improves the health outcomes and the quality of life, and builds a strong relationship with payers, providers, and regulators and other stakeholders. Who is a stakeholder? Common definition: anyone who has a stake in that particular project or who's helps in the decision is the stakeholder. Even the patient is also a stakeholder. Many a times, HTA decisions have been reversed, I would say, or have been reinforced because of some of the perspectives given by the patients. Okay, so now two more slides, then I'll hand it to Dr. Geeta for her session. So quickly, public health research. What is public health? Public health is a systematic collection, analysis, and interpretation of data related to health of population. Okay, prevalence, incidence. What is the difference between incidence and prevalence? Anyone quickly? For a long time, I was confused. So I don't blame anyone if people are still confused with that. So there are certain terms which I used to run away from, and Dr. Geeta can vouch for that. Statistics. Okay, it's the scariest part, which all of us feel. वो होता है ना, we read all the chapters before our exam. So I have two people whom I'll acknowledge here. Oncology, I always used to leave that subject. Okay, so Dr. Saurabh is oncologist that we have, and second is statistics. Dr. Geeta is there. Okay, so in public health, we have informed decision making, population health outcomes, and in fact, there are a lot of projects run by the government of India under various schemes for public health. Question comes to me: can public health researcher join HEOR? Answer is yes, very much yes. It is very, very much relevant. The modeler in my team, I can very proudly say, she's a master's in from IIPH public health, right? So yeah, it's very much relevant, and we plan to cover this area through our courses as well. Okay. AI in healthcare and digital health innovation. Okay, it refers to the artificial intelligence to analyze complex data, patterns, and support clinical and operational decision making. How many of us are wearing smartwatch? Right, so there is data that is collected in this smartwatch, right? There are Fitbits, and there is other apps that we use. I don't have a smartwatch, but I have a smartphone, right? And I would like to say that my mother and my grandmother use all these apps more efficiently than I do. Okay, so they track the number of steps that they have taken, what is their heart rate. There are apps where you do a facial scan, right? And you come to know what is your blood pressure, what is your pulse rate. Okay, so from this pattern, you can stop many of the diseases at the early stage. This is the help of this is what digital health and AI brings to us, and Dr. Geeta would like to, of course, take this up in her upcoming session. It helps in improving patient outcomes, enhances efficiency, reduces costs, increases access to care, drives innovation and equity. Quick question unrelated to this. Can you give me 5 examples of large language models? And how many of them do you use? I presume people are typing. Okay. How many of us know that Netflix and Amazon Prime also work on large language models? Right. See where we are going. For everything, we are using large language models. So please be aware and read about them. There are virtual assistants, right? Virtual for automation that are used nowadays. A quick example before I close for digital health. Agentic AI, Gen AI, they are very much prevalent these days. So I was at a conference at National University of Singapore, and I saw one of the apps based on agentic AI that has been an initiative of the government as well as some of the private companies. So many of us have elderly people at home, and we are out of work either in a different country or a different location. So that app works on agentic AI. It calls your elderly person every day, and it adapts itself to the language in which your folks are comfortable talking in. And they ask them, how are you feeling? Then if our elderly person says, no, I'm not feeling well, then it gives the cue. Did you take that medicine in the red bottle or in the white bottle? Did you had your breakfast? What did you eat for breakfast? And do you want us to call an ambulance if you're not feeling well? If the elderly doesn't pick up the phone, let's say after 3 tries, the call goes to the caregivers like us who have been registered on the app. So this is what AI and digital health brings to you now. So with this, I thank, but important, follow us on LinkedIn and visit our website as Dr. Ajit has mentioned. Okay, and we look forward to seeing you on the other side. Thank you so much. And with this, Gary, back to you, please. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for such an informative and engaging session on HEOR core domains. We now move to our next expert talk on digital health and its importance, to be presented by Dr. Geeta Menon. Ma'am, we are excited to hear your insights. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Richa, to set the ball rolling and also describing a lot about health economics and outcome research, which is similar to HTA, because I have worked in HTA and all those objectives that HEOR does, all that is similar to HTA. And being a part of the government, I'll explain how important it is to understand this subject very well, learn this subject, and also apply the digital tools and technologies that are available. So I'll share my presentation. Is it visible?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes, it is.
Okay. So this is a topic that I'll be talking on, digital health and its importance. So let us know what it is, what digital health is. We all know that, but just to set the ball rolling, technologies that can create, generate, process, and store data. Those are the technologies which we call as digital health. So these technologies are useful. We are talking about digital health, so we'll focus on healthcare delivery only. So it improves healthcare delivery. It helps in disease prevention. It is used for early detection. It is used for treatment of the patients. And as we said in the previous speaker spoke about the monitoring of health illnesses and health systems. This is very useful, and especially in health system management. And we learn a lot about how our government has utilized digital technologies for management of health systems. So these are some of the examples, as Dr. Richa has already mentioned, about mobile health technologies, wearable devices. Many of us are wearing the Fitbit, which monitors your blood pressure and blood sugar. We have CGMs for the diabetic patients for monitoring their blood sugar values. And then the electronic health records, the telemedicine, where the doctors reach the remotest part of the country and try to save lives and also treat patients. Electronic health records, most of the hospitals in and around our areas, in urban areas as well as in some of the rural areas, electronic health records have now been converted into digital records for easy access. Artificial intelligence, we know how artificial intelligence is invading the health systems now, and how it has become a very useful tool for all of us. Health information systems in general, and the digital platforms and data sharing and communication systems that the government of India has adopted, Ministry of Information has adopted to follow the patients as well as those who have registered for any health condition. And we have learned all this post-COVID, where the adoption of such technologies has only accelerated multifold. So what is the primary objective of digital health? We know that traditional healthcare challenges have a lot of shortages, like shortages of healthcare professionals. There is unequal distribution of healthcare services in the rural and urban areas. Wherever diagnosis was done, the diagnosis were delayed. There was inadequate availability of healthcare records, and in general, there was a poor communication between the healthcare providers and the patients and those who needed healthcare access. So, in order to enhance the accessibility, efficiency, quality, and affordability of healthcare services, digital health is very useful. It helps in enabling faster communication, and there is a real-time data management, real-time processing of the data, and real-time delivery of results also. And it helps in remote healthcare delivery also. So what are the uses? In general, digital technologies can help in bridging the gaps in the healthcare access, reduce disparities between those who can afford and those who cannot, and optimize the use of scarce resources. We have limited resources, as we keep telling each other. And it is necessary that we optimize the use of such resources, and this helps in doing that. Mobile-based applications helps in data collection, in health monitoring, in early disease detection also. Digital health platforms support in health education. So we have seen that during COVID, all the schools and colleges were done online, and there was absolutely no difference in the way education was imparted to the students online, as if, and that has only made them more favorable in accepting digital platforms for learning. And that is why we are also having a online meeting instead of an offline in-person meeting. That saves a lot of time for us, that saves a lot of money also. So mobile devices, as we have seen, and wearable technologies that has empowered the individuals to manage their health, and they have in a way promoted preventive healthcare practices. Now, whatever wearables the individuals wear, the data that is collected from their health condition goes directly into a registry or a database, and the healthcare provider can access that database and help him in getting better, in improving their treatment, in taking care of their health. Health education and medication reminders have also become very useful now, and these mobile devices help us in doing that. Appointment scheduling, there is no need for a person to now go to a hospital and take an appointment. He can do the appointment scheduling online. Even places like AIMS, which is a government system, now has an online appointment scheduling practice, and we need not go from you can schedule an appointment from anywhere in the country. Fitness tracking and in disease monitoring. So AI-based systems have been very useful now. It can assist in disease diagnosis, early diagnosis of chronic diseases, which need more attention. The AI-based systems are able to do it. We have AI-based digital health technologies already working in remote areas, like the stethoscope, AI-based stethoscope, then AI-based TB detection devices. All these are being used by the government of India. They are helping in predicting the diseases at an early stage, and it provides personalized treatment to the individuals. AI-assisted diagnostic tools are being used in tuberculosis screening, in cancer detection, in heart health, and in ophthalmology in remote settings as well. Machine learning algorithms, as Dr. Richa has mentioned, that it has now been able to collect huge amounts of data, and without the help of a person or a human being, it is so programmed that it is able to analyze huge amounts of data and help in clinical decision making at a very faster pace as compared to the earlier times. Healthcare access in difficult terrains, we all know, and in remote areas and remote places, even now, despite all these efforts, is still very limited, and the government is making huge efforts to reduce that gap. Patients have earlier used to travel long distances to get healthcare, and they have to pay heavy out-of-pocket expenses. Now we realize that with the advent of telemedicine, patients are able to get all that healthcare at their doorstep itself, in their home itself, in the comfort of their home, and they need not travel to long distances. And that helps the healthcare providers also to consult and diagnose and monitor their patients remotely, using all the communication tools that the digital health provides. And they can make video calls, and through mobile applications, they can monitor their patients in a more easier way now. Electronic health records, as I have mentioned, that electronic health records are a means of digital storage, and it helps in patient management, and it can help in information of patients being shared between two individuals, two doctors or healthcare providers anywhere in the world. And it has a database which includes the medical history, the lab reports, the prescriptions, and all the treatment detail from the day the patient gets registered in the electronic health system. Digital records can be accessed remotely, and it can be updated by healthcare providers who have the authorization to do it, and it improves the coordination of care. It reduces duplicacy of tests, because tests earlier what we used to see is that when individuals go to one hospital, they are asked to do some test, and then when they go to another hospital, the same tests are repeated. Now once the patient is registered in an electronic health system, then he need not duplicate those tests. He doesn't have to pay for those tests. It minimizes medical errors, and it overall supports evidence-based clinical medicine. Digital health also improves in improving the health governance. We see how they do it at the governmental level in Ayushman Bharat. Dr. Rajput has already mentioned about that. Digital platforms help in efficient management of healthcare resources. It helps in supply chains as well. Again, earlier supply chains were all manual. Now supply chains have become digital, and more is faster, and people are able to access all the facilities at a faster rate. Vaccination programs and in overall disease surveillance programs also. We have seen in the past few years that the Ministry of Health and Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology is playing a very central role in strengthening the digital health system in India, and it provides the entire digital infrastructure. The MeitY provides the digital infrastructure, policy support, cyber security frameworks, and also supports innovation ecosystem that is required for technology enabled healthcare delivery. And it works closely with the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. It works with state governments, startups, research institutions, and also industry partners to accelerate the country's digital transformation in healthcare. The government of India, through its Ayushman Bharat scheme, has this flagship initiative of Ayushman Bharat Digital Mission, which was launched under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and it is implemented by the National Health Authority. And ABDM is actually creating an integrated digital health infrastructure that connects the patients, the doctors, the hospitals, the labs, the pharmacies, the insurers, everyone on a single integrated digital platform. So this is what ABDM is all about. It was started in September 27, 2021, and in the past 5 years, it has expanded exponentially to enhance the acceptability and equity of healthcare services through its IT system. And it you see the graph here, it links all the stakeholders that Dr. Richa was talking about: the hospitals, the central government, the state governments, the program managers, the labs, the insurers, the health tech companies, and the industry. Everybody is part of this system. And the national digital health ecosystem that provides a wide range of data. And what happens when we link all these systems together? It provides a wide range of data, and the IT and the AI-enabled system is able to analyze this data in a useful form for the policymakers and decision makers to give better healthcare access to the people. So the building blocks of Ayushman Bharat is the Aadhaar number. Any patient who fulfills the criteria for getting an Aadhaar number, he can go to the Aadhaar website and create a number for himself. And then once the citizen has an Aadhaar ID, then he can get access to entire healthcare services that the government provides to that patient. The government also has created a healthcare professional registry, which is called the HPR, which is a comprehensive repository of registered healthcare professionals. That this registry includes not only the modern system, but the dentistry, Ayurveda, Unani, Siddha, homeopathy. It connects the nurses and the pharmacists all over across India who deliver healthcare services to people. So, and you have a very simple ABHA mobile app also, where the app also helps you in getting the right kind of information that is needed for the patients and to identify verified healthcare professionals. The National Healthcare Providers Registry is another registry that is connected to the ABDM, which is a comprehensive registry of all health facilities, which includes hospitals, clinics, diagnostic labs, imaging centers, pharmacies, all facilities at one place. It is a one-stop shop where you can go to a particular service that you need and get access to that service. So the most important thing about all this is that Government of India has created the ABDM sandbox environment that helps startups, hospitals, and technology companies to develop and test digital health solutions, and those solutions which provide support to the national ecosystem is taken up by the government at a faster pace. So, despite all this, we know that there are challenges. There is data privacy involved in digital platforms. That is, cyber security is there. Digital literacy is inadequate in our system. Infrastructure limitations are there, and equitable access to technology is still a problem in our systems, and that needs to be set up by a strong regulatory framework. We should have trained healthcare professionals who can handle the digital systems very well. We should have a reliable internet connectivity. All this runs only if the internet is well connected. So we need to have better internet connectivity, and there the Ministry of Information helps us in doing that. And overall public trust in digital systems. Earlier, we never used to be satisfied with digital payment, but today we are able to pay through Paytm, to even small vendors. Earlier, when it started, we used to even at home. If you see the elder people, they are still they want to pay through their currency notes. But gradually, they have all learned the system, and now they are using the digital system for payment also. Similarly, there has to develop a public trust in the digital systems, which will take some time, especially in health, because health is a subject that is close to our heart, and we will not like to compromise on that. Therefore, it takes some time, but I am sure that over a period of time, with the government support, things will be very fast, and it will be easily adopted by people in India. And there are ethical considerations regarding the use of patient data and artificial intelligence, which also needs to be taken care of, and it needs to be addressed to ensure safe and responsible healthcare delivery. So the conclusion is that digital health has become an essential component of modern evolving healthcare systems. We cannot do without digital technologies. It integrates technology with health services to improve access, efficiency, quality, and patient outcomes. And it supports preventive care, enhances disease management, strengthens health systems, and promotes data-driven decision making. We need not now depend on somebody's prescription for coming to a point, at least deciding. Now every data is integrated, and an integrated decision can be taken by the healthcare provider for his patient, and therefore this has become a very useful tool now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the detailed and informative session, ma'am. Now we'll move to our final expert session on women entrepreneurship and government support, which will be delivered by Dr. Jeet Singh.
Thank you, Dr. Gary. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Again, let me share my screen. Just let me know if it is visible, and
It's
is it
visible.
visible? Yes. Thank you very much. So, I think ma'am and Dr. Richa and our panelists, all the advisory board members, they have already set the foundation wonderfully. And now I will just take a little time, 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes on women entrepreneurship and healthcare innovation leadership, right? So I'm Dr. Ajit Singh, guys. I'm the founder and director one of the director and founder for IHEPR, and I'm the, we are running CLIMAD and Curio as well. And I'm working for ICMR as well at Department of Medicine, KMC Manipal. Okay, so why this topic matters, which is very, very important. Okay, why this topic matters? So it is very important because India is the evolving healthcare system, and not only India, world actually. If I say the world is evolving healthcare, and AI, biotech, digital health are rapidly transforming the industry. And entrepreneurs are not just job seekers, but they are job creators as well. They are not just the business makers, but they are job creators as well, right? So this perception of entrepreneurship and being a business person or business women, you become the job creators. You define the career possibilities for the upcoming generations, for the students of healthcare, if you're working in the healthcare, right? And definitely increasing clinical gaps. There are multiple demands, and we need solutions for not thousands but lakhs of the problems which we sometimes ignore. Okay, and we sometimes you feel like this could not be a problem, but we need sometimes solution, right? And then definitely we need to grow the innovation setup in India. Though we are one of the favorite platform or ecosystem, India is the favorite ecosystem for the innovations, and it is going very, very growing very rapidly, right? What is entrepreneurship? You all know that entrepreneurship means starting a business, but yes, it is not starting a business. Entrepreneurship is the process of creating the value. It is not just starting the business, or it is not just starting or starting filling your bank accounts, getting the money, but it is creating the value by solving the real world problems, converting ideas into the scalable businesses, right? So key pillars of and the foundation pillars or the skills what we need to become the entrepreneur are innovations, and you must know how to solve the problem creatively. And definitely you should be a risk taker. You should calculate the risk, and then you should definitely uh, put your efforts into the entrepreneurship. Then definitely you should be a visionary. You should be a visionary leader who can not just think of starting the business, but to carry it forward for the uh, 5 years, 10 years, and make it a big organization, or big value to the society, and focus on the impact, sustainability, and growth, right? So types of entrepreneurships, I'll just take you all through. There are the small business entrepreneurships, like local ventures like pharmacies, clinics, diagnostic labs serving community needs. So diagnostic labs and all these are like dedicated to healthcare people. A scalable startup, and then after small business entrepreneurships, social entrepreneurships, right? Where we have some mission in our life to solve the public health, to make it accessible, and to take the challenges in the society, right? And then we come up with the solutions and solve that problems by our entrepreneurship skills, right? And by the organized skills in a business format, right? And then innovation driven entrepreneurship, like right now the things are going on in AI based innovations and technology based innovations. R&D focused ventures are there, developing the novel drugs, devices, diagnostics as well. A lot of things are there. Then we have scalable startup entrepreneurships. Definitely, this is not for the people who are new into the business, but scalable startup entrepreneurships are for the people who are already into the businesses, and they can grow them further, or who have the good capital with them. Capital means the investments money, right? And then the corporate entrepreneurship, definitely the people who are already having the established business from the parents, grandparents, from the family, right? And then the digital entrepreneurship, which is very new, very much added to this scenario. So where we build the platforms, applications, AI tools to solve the real time healthcare, and we transform the healthcare delivery in that, right? Who is an entrepreneur? As I just told, entrepreneur is not just a business maker or a money maker. Those are problem solvers. Those identify the pain points that others overlook, or they don't care. But the the real entrepreneur, they look into it and they build the solutions for those pain points. Then they are definitely risk takers. They embraces the uncertainty with the calculated confidences and resilience. So business is not just a one day thing, guys. Everyone who wants to start it is a lifelong matter. Okay, lifelong matter, and you have to invest yourself. You cannot, just look into the 7 hours, 8 hours sleep, and I mean a lot of challenges you have to take in your life, and it is a challenging business for your life, right? And then opportunity creator, definitely, as I told you, you are the job creators, right? Doesn't wait for the opportunities, you create them from the scratches, right? And definitely the value creator, you build long lasting impacts on the customers, communities, industries, and society, right? And just look into the Indian ecosystem of startups. There are 2.2 lakh plus startups officially recognized startup base among the world. India is officially recognized as a startup base among the world. 2.2 lakh plus startups. That is the data from DPIIT. And then there are 55,000 plus startups added in 2026. Just in last 4 months, we have added 55,000 new startups registered in India. Okay, so highest ever addition in a single period. And this is signaling the explosive growth of startups in India, right? And we have created, I mean, the startup ecosystem in India have created 23 lakh plus jobs. So this is the major, system and major engine in India to start the employment and to give up, give the employments to the students, to the, aspirants, right? And now the major fact which I want to talk about: women entrepreneurship, women participation. 48% of the startups are run by women's, right? Either they're the founders or co-founders. So nearly half of the startups, including other women founders and co-founders, right? As India is the fastest growing startup ecosystem in the world. So there are multiple other things where like US, UK, China, but India is in the top 3 global rankings for the startups, right? And this is the highest growth in the startup system, 12 to 15% annual growth in the startup system of India. There are multiple systems like, digital health, AI startups where women can, participate, and women are actually, putting their efforts and making them into the businesses. Telemedicine platforms, AI-based diagnostic tools, wearable remote monitorings, multiple things. And definitely when I, talk about, as I just told, 48% of startups are, run by the women and as the, founder or co-founder, right? And government of India is also having multiple, supports to them, multiple grants to them, right? And not only the grants, but financial supports as well, like Stand Up India, right? This is the loan for women-led businesses in manufacturing and services. We have WP platforms, that is Women Entrepreneurship Platform, providing the mentorship and resources. We have TREAD trade scheme, which is trade-related entrepreneurship, assisting the, in the development of such businesses for the women in India. We have state level supports like, we have WE Hub in Telangana. We have women startup policies in Karnataka, women startup mission in Kerala, financial investments in Maharashtra, and other financial incentives in different states. So the women should come and, must, put some of the ideas, and they always have the idea. I'm very sure that they have the ideas. They know, how to, solve the problems. They are the best problem solvers in India, not only India, everywhere, but the women are the best problem solvers. I must admit that, right? So, and definitely the small problems can be, transformed into the big businesses as well if you are having the, some support and, if you have the sense of making it as a business, right? So Government of India supports are there, as I just told you. Startup India initiatives, flagship programs are offering the tax benefits, funding access, and regulatory ease for the new ventures. Atal Innovation Mission, fostering a culture of innovation, and they are having the think tanks. They are having their incubation centers where women can apply and get, tax-free and interest-free loans. Make in India, encouraging the domestic manufacturing, reducing the import dependency in pharma. So women can apply there also, and they have the tax-free and interest-free loans, right? Digital India is again one of the platform where even not only the women but men also can apply and build their digital infrastructure and power health techs, telemedicine startups, etc. in the healthcare, right? Grants and funding supports, definitely other grant and funding supports. SISFS is there, Startup India Seed Fund Scheme. We have biotechnology ignition grants, big grants, MSME funding schemes, incubator and accelerators. Women focused benefits are there, which are dedicating to the startup quotas. For women, we have the dedicated startup quotas for the women with the lower interest loans, collateral free funding, CSIR based financial supports. So there are multiple funding pathways which are existing at every stage of startup journey, not only for the women but men also. But women have the better support from Government of India as well. There are some real world stories what I got it. For all of you, I'll read one or two. We built a telemedicine platform that reached 2 million patients in tier 2 and tier 3 cities within 18 months. It is said by Priya Sharma, co-founder of MedReach India. And we turned a pharmaco, and if you see this, starting a CRO from a college lab was terrifying, but we now run clinical trials for three global pharma companies. Dr. Neha Joshi, founder, Trial Bridge. So there are some success stories. You must have your, you must know many of the business women and women entrepreneurs, right? So I have a question for all of you guys. I would be happy to listen from you. Tell me your favorite female entrepreneur's name here. I'm listening to all of you. Yes, everyone.
Biocon.
Biocon, Majumdar, madam.
Mm.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, guys, I'm looking forward for your messages. Who is your favorite women entrepreneur? Dr. Richa Goyal. I was supposed to say the same in the panel. I'm saying Dr. Richa Goyal, and I always admire her for her efforts, and definitely she's one of my favorite leader, one of my favorite entrepreneur. Dr.
Just
Richa Goyal.
started on this journey, Dr. Ajit. I've just started, but I'm humbled. Thank you so much.
My wife, Dr. Kamal Sharma, sir. Yes,
Oh,
absolutely,
very
absolutely.
nice.
Yes, absolutely. Forest Essentials, Meera Kulkarni. Yes, ma'am. Yes, absolutely, Dr. Richa. True. Yes, guys. Looking forward for more answers. Who is your favorite? Okay. Yes. See, Dr. Richa.
No, Dr. Geeta is not an entrepreneur.
Okay, guys. So, Falguni Nair, Dr. Richa. Okay.
Definitely Falguni Nair.
I think Madam is now blushing. We should go to the next slide.
Yes,
Dr.
Dr. Ajit.
Richa.
Women behind Dr. Ajit, Dr. Sheetal. Dr. Ajit, see?
Yes, and many people are there.
Yeah.
Even behind Dr. Ajit. Sonika ma'am, thank you very much. Dr. Richa. Yes, so see, there are multiple domains also where we can, now come, let's, we can, there are the multiple domains for the entrepreneurship where we all should look into it. There are always the demand. There are always the demand, not only for the jobs, but for some solutions, for small solutions. When you work into these fields, you understand like where we can start some solutions for some small jobs, maybe as ma'am Geeta ma'am has rightly told that appointment systems. So making the hospital appointment systems, making the apps for it, right? There are multiple apps, and for the drug distribution, for drug delivery systems. I mean, small things can be done at the bigger scales, right? Bigger scales, right? So some domains for the entrepreneurship for women as well, pharmaceuticals and manufacturing, clinical research, the CROs, pharmacovigilance, digital health and digital, health tech and medical devices, pharma education and education, I mean the edtech companies, wellness and preventive care, AI and data analytics, public health and HEOR, medical devices. So in every domain, definitely you can, and a simple, thing, it's not very easy to explain this, but yes, first you have to identify a problem, Then out of that problem, you have to generate the idea. You have to do some market research, like for the competitions, for the pricing, for the expenses, for the process, for the regulatory, multiple levels of understanding, multiple levels of knowledge you need in the need from the market research, right? So you have the proper understanding and you can start a business. Then once you have every understanding, then you have to create a team and you have to create MVP. MVP is nothing but minimum viable product, right? So it is like before creating the whole car, you are creating the engine and putting on the four wheels and trying if it is running on the road or not, right? So you just have to make the MVP, right? Your, like, if you want to give the mobile application solution, so first you have to make the mobile application and test it, right? So you have to make the MVP and then test it, validate it, and immediately it could translate into the business, right? So definitely idea, validation, prototype to pilot, and then fundings, launches, many things are there, right? So I'll not go to this. So funding stages, there are multiple fundings. I mean, you can take the fundings or you can invite the fundings or grants or the investors at any stage, either before starting the business, that is called pre-seed, or maybe when you are developing it at the seed stage, or maybe once you have the MVP, series A, series B, and series beyond series C, series D. There are multiple rounds of funding you can do when you have the product and it is already in the market. And then once you are a very established company, you can go for IPO. There also you can invite the fundings and investors. Okay, definitely there are the challenges, like first of all funding constraints, because it's not very easy to get fundings from government or from the private investors or from the angel investors or anywhere, right? It is a little tough thing, but nowadays it's not very tough, if I say, guys. Okay, funding is not like that tough constraint, right? Regulatory complexity, if if you get into the system once, you will understand it. It's not very hard. As I told you, government of India is has made India as a very easy ecosystem for the startups. So regulatory complexity is also become very easy now in India, right? And skill gaps, yes, that could be a big problem, because the people, the generations and the students, aspirants which are coming now, anyways, the government of India has come up with the new education policies which are focusing on skills and value addition. But definitely, you should be skilled. You cannot go for the jobs or start a business without the skills. You must have, if you are starting the AI business, you must have the basic understanding of AI. If you are starting health technology, you must have the basic understanding of digital health, right? So definitely skills are very, very important. If you want to start a dual sphere, you must have the knowledge of HEOR and STA that Dr. Richa had. And she had the experience of 17 years. Guys, so listen to me carefully. It is not just like just come up and I will start a business. You must have the knowledge. You must have the skills. Skills are very, very important thing to have when you are, you want to start a business, right? And then your action plan, so it is from my side for all of you. Week 1 to 2, identify your problem escape, space around you. Look around you and find out 2 to 3 problems and pick which you are most passionate about. Then week 3 to 4, research and validate. Talk to 10 potential users. Read 5 research papers. Map the competitive landscape. And then month 2, build your network. Join 2 incubators or startup communities. We are also the startup incubator at CliMed. You can join us as well. Okay, you can come to us if you have a good idea. We also support the good ideas. Right now 4 to 5 applications are being built in under the CliMed Health startup incubation, that is called Health Tech Mitra. Okay, and we in the month 2 to 3, develop your MVP and go for the funding and go as a product into the market, right? So this is from my side, and the future belongs to women innovators. Definitely, if I say pharmacy is no longer limited to dispensing medicines, or healthcare is no longer into the hospitals and into the healthcare setting. It is about designing the solutions, building innovations, and leading the future of healthcare, right? So design the solutions, build the innovations, lead the future. That is the take home, right? So it's about me. Right now I'm running 7 startups, and including one of the startup incubation center. In that, we have mentored 1 lakh plus healthcare students, guys. So we invite again, and now IHEPR is one of the new venture in that, and definitely I invite all of you to join us and join hands with us in growing, right? So my mission is to transform pharmacy graduates from job seekers into job creators, building a generation of innovators who solve India's most pressing healthcare challenges. What's your innovation and what's your statement, guys? So with that, thank you very much. Join us on LinkedIn, join and visit our websites. Thank you very much. Over to you, Dr. Gary.
Thank you so much, sir, for that inspiring and informative session. We'll now move into the interactive Q&A session. I'll now take up some of the most relevant and commonly asked questions are from our expert panel. Many students are interested in HEOR but don't know where to begin. What could be the ideal roadmap for a PharmD, M.Pharm or B.Pharm student to enter into the HEOR field? And second, what are the most important practical skills, software tools, and certifications students should learn to become industry ready in HEOR and healthcare analytics? I would request Dr. Mahendra Rai to guide our audience on that.
Sure, thanks. Thanks for this question. Interesting question. I think I come across this question in most of the forums. So yeah, in terms of a career in HEOR, so what essentially is required? So I think some strong foundations in uh, pharmacotherapy, biostats, again, that is very important. Epidemiology, understanding the health economic concepts like what is cost effectiveness, what is budget impact, understanding more about HTAs, how HTAs function. So I think those are some of the foundations that you need to understand. And once you kind of do some kind of tailor-made courses which the institute is offering, I think that kind of understanding would definitely come, and then you can build upon that. Then also it's good to have some kind of HER exposure. So this could be doing through some elective courses, internships, doing some projects, or even thesis work, which you do as part of any of these kind of courses. So, I mean, it's always good to do some kind of practical work, because sometimes we only do theory part of it and then don't put it to practice, and then we forget what we have learned. So I think always important to do something practically as well. Also in terms of skills, so I think analytical skills, so I think we need to kind of improve on the analytical skills, understand modeling concepts, better understanding of what is real world data, how it is different from clinical trials data, how does it kind of, what role it plays in the overall analysis, HER analysis. uh, and then also, I mean, I always talk about AI as well. So then you also need to be aware of AI. So where all you can use AI, which are the right AI platforms to use, and how much you need to depend on AI. So that is also important. I mean, it's not that AI will do everything. So how to best leverage AI. So I think those are some of the things that one should kind of focus on to build a career in HER. I think the second part of the question was on this was on skills and softwares. Okay,
Yes.
so all right. So again, in terms of core skills, so what we need is understanding of the HE evaluations, health economic evaluations, how to interpret data. So you can do the evaluations, but then you should also understand how you have to interpret any data which is coming out of these analysis, understanding of incremental costs, and then incremental cost effectiveness ratios. How do you interpret? And then when you are comparing two different therapies, what is the end result basis these numbers that any of the economic analysis will throw up. So I think those kind of understanding also, clear scientific business communication that you have to lead. So the value proposition that needs to be built. So I think those are some of the core skills that are required. And then in terms of tools, so this is an interesting one, because when we started, there was a lot of reliance on Excel, PowerPoint, Word, because these were tools that we were essentially using. And then in terms of statistics, so R, SAS, and then one of the kind of big data kind of languages, if you know Python, I think that was kind of an advantage. But the way things are kind of moving, and the way AI is kind of impacting things, so I think we'll have to also understand which would be the AI tools which can kind of help with this kind of analysis, because they can provide a very good summary. And then we need to see how we want to go beyond what AI is kind of providing you as an output of the data that you have kind of analyzed using any of the AI tools. So yeah, so that is something that we need to look at. And then in terms of again AI also, it's not that one tool fits all the requirements. So even for doing HER work, there are different tools. So for example, for PPTs, you may look at Gamma. So Gamma can build really good PPTs. When you create your value proposition, go for Gamma. So if you put it in Chat GPT, you'll have a very basic version of PPT, which probably you may not use in business communications. But Gamma can actually generate very good PPTs for research. Probably you can leverage Claude, Perplexity. So there are different AI-based platforms. So that is also important to understand which is the right AI platform to use. And then also, I mean, in terms of tailor-made certifications, and that is where this institute is kind of going to provide that kind of a certification. So specific certifications that probably would help. And I would not say that only certifications are going to help, but then put it in practice, do some projects on the kind of work that or the learnings that you have during these certification courses. So I think that's what is going to make you industry ready. So yeah, I think that's those are the responses from my end, but happy to elaborate if there are any follow-up questions.
Thank you so much, sir, for those valuable insights. Our next question is, what kind of entry-level opportunities are currently available for freshers in HEOR, clinical research, digital health and healthcare consulting? I would like to invite Dr. Geeta R. Menon to address this question, ma'am.
Yeah, so talking about entry-level research experience, and that is about 0 to 3 years of experience. Those postgraduates, now remember that HEOR can be studied by any postgraduate, whether he is an MPH student or a pharmacy or a basic scientist. If he has a if he has a greed for learning new things, that person can be a very good candidate for HEOR. So such candidates who have learned HEOR through some courses like this, they are very good candidates for entry level careers. And what kind of entry level careers can we get? We can if you talk about the health technology assessment resource centers that we have 25 HTA resource centers across India, and this is all governed by the Department of Health Research. So what it does, it supports in conducting literature search. So the person who comes for an entry level career should have some idea about systematic reviews, ways of data collection, ways of doing literature review, and some idea about cost and outcome data collection also, and some basic idea about economic model, and also drafting of outcome reports. So if a postgraduate in any discipline, if he has learned this, then he can become an HTA research associate in one of the HTA centers. He has a good scope of becoming a consultant or a project assistant in some of the HTA studies that is commissioned by the Department of Health Research. If he is able to manage data sets, if he is able to communicate with stakeholders for any particular technology, and he is a good document writer. If he is a good medical writer, then he will be able to do well in resource centers and in some industries as an early level of career. But if a person has done a lot of work in this area and he has put in about 3 to 8 years of experience in a particular field after doing the course, then he has a lot of chance of becoming a senior health economist. He can become a scientist D grade in HTA resource centers. He can be a health economist who is able to design and validate decision analytical models. He can conduct sensitivity and scenario analysis. He can be a biostatistician. If he's a master in biostatistics or statistics, and he has done some additional courses on HEOR, then he can be a biostatistician with industries, with pharmacies, pharmaceutical companies, as well as in government setup. In nowadays, you see government, they are employing ad hoc people. They don't give permanent jobs, but you can be a contractual employee for a long period of time in the government setup, where you can apply all your skills, analytical skills, advanced statistical analytical skills to support the decision making process. He can be a nodal officer in a state nodal agency, a state HTA agency, who is able to manage health economic studies at that center, who is able to coordinate with state and central program divisions, central program divisions like the TB division and the state divisions. If he is able to coordinate with them, then he can get a very good job in those areas also. In addition, he can work in research institutions. One can work with academic institutes like the Indian Institute of Public Health, Public Health Foundation of India, and many industrial partners as well. So the early career opportunities are a lot for the people who have done this course. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving us clarity on that. The next question is, with AI rapidly entering healthcare and pharma industries, do you think AI will replace jobs or it will create newer opportunities for healthcare professionals? I would like to invite Dr. Saurabh Kumar to share his perspective on this.
Sure. I, I hope we can. Let's try it. Right. So regarding this AI, I mean, we have heard this concern a lot of time in a couple of years. Will it be affecting us? How the job market would look like with the AIs? I mean, whenever we are extrapolating this data, this is from the Western world, that yes, there have been changes from a working perspective. But what we have seen a lot, if I align it to the India side, still the doctor ratio is too less. We are not able to reach the remote areas of the country. There are areas where we still a lot of work needs to be done. So to me, AI is not something which is going to take the jobs. It would be more of a expanding the pie for us and expanding more opportunities for us. Now, when it comes to the designations may be different. You may not have someone with a clinical data or something, but someone who knows how to implement these AI systems and how to work around these AI systems. And this may not mean that you have the entire knowledge of coding. So I did see some people uh, writing the LLM names of Claude, Grok, Copilot, etc. Right? It's really good that they know it, but do we know what kind of what work should I be leveraging them? I mean, for me, if I have to do a very kind of a intense scientific work, I will look at Claude. If I have to do a very top level kind of a joint inputs, I may look at Copilot. If I want to create a infographic or a slide something, I will go to Notebook LM. So there are different ways to look at it, right? So that's where the main differential comes in. That how the people leverage the new technology. So AI is not going to take the job. It would be more like expanding and how we reach out to how we start to do the analytics from a work perspective. Now, when it comes to I mean, expanding part of it, you may have like we are seeing these days, the companies are actually doing entire protocol writing or entire study planning using the AI. That doesn't mean that it removes the role of epidemiologist, it removes the role of biostatistician, or it removes the role of health economist. It means that health economists, biostatisticians, or epidemiologists or medical writers, they need to upgrade themselves in these kind of technologies and learn how to use them. You would have, and what this would do as a second order thinking, because if I am able to plan a study, say, which used to take 1 year, now if I'm able to do it in 6 months, that doesn't mean that the pharma company will do now only one study. They would do two studies. So if I have to do two studies, I would still need people to actually plan it, look at it, validate it, and then implement it. So there was some, I think, message about whether we have junior roles or not. Junior roles will also stay, but it's more like how you, like I said, how you upskill yourself in the technology aspect, that would matter the most. But to me, I don't think there would be any kind of a reduction in the in the jobs, at least from an India perspective, because there is a lot of work to be done at this moment in India when it comes to health economics and real world evidence. I can give an example: the hospital data that exists at this moment. it is a lot of the data is unstructured. It is in paper format. It is in not in a digital format. It is there. Now just imagine digitizing, collecting the data, digitizing it, and then getting into the system in a proper way in a structure format. Say for a chain of 18 hospitals across India, and seeing maybe 5,000 patients per branch, right? Imagine the volume of work that exists. Imagine the volume of analytics that needs to be done. Imagine the amount of scientific information that is coming, that is going to come out. So that is not going to stop, and that is not, rather AI, I think would accelerate all these things. So rather than thinking that will they kind of take away the jobs, I would focus more on looking at how I bring out my scientific acumen with the AI technologies that are there and how I leverage it. Because that is the area where the industry would look forward to from a student's perspective, that who knows these things well. And like I said, you should be knowing where should I go for a certain kind of a task. Should I go to Notebook? Should I go to Claude? Should I go to Grok or to Copilot? So there are a lot of things, right? But how you integrate it and how you create a workflow process, that would make the major sense when it comes to from a job perspective. But I think from an India perspective, I don't see much of a challenge. Rather, it would be a enabler from a job perspective. But yep, happy to have any questions if there are.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your valuable insights with us. Our next audience question is how building a career in HEOR, pharmacoeconomics, or healthcare policy. I would request Dr. H. Sharma to kindly address this question.
Thank you. It's a very good question, and more so, good in the sense it's not only for the doctors who are working in healthcare settings or in hospitals, even for the other staff also. Hospital exposure is extremely valuable in building your career in HEOR, especially if you want to work in pharma, medical affairs, policy making, or even healthcare consulting. So this is how it works. Working in a hospital gives you first-hand information as to how patients are diagnosed, treated, monitored, and followed up. This understanding is very important in outcome research and healthcare economic modeling. I'll give you an example. The government of India has recently launched a cervical cancer vaccine, HPV vaccine. The incidence of cervical cancer is very high, not only in India and Africa, but globally, yes. So many countries have already adopted this vaccine in their national immunization program. India recently did it, although the discussions were going on since last couple of years, but they could not do it because, again, economic modeling, when you do that part, I mean, the cost of the vaccine was very high, incidence was very high, and a government could not afford, to launch a vaccine which was so expensive for such a big population. So there were only two things: either you bring the price of the vaccine down, or you bring there were 3 doses which were given. So from those 3 doses, you bring it to 2 doses or 1 dose. So the price of the vaccine also was brought down by the companies, and even the schedule was changed from 3 doses to 2 doses to 1 dose. All this happened because of the studies which were conducted here, and data came from the real world evidence studies conducted in different parts of the world. So from 3 doses it became to 1 dose. So now government has introduced that single dose of HPV vaccine to cut down this incidence of cervical cancer. So all this is important because now this helps. This is important because they did the health economic modeling part, and then it was possible. Hospitals generate large amounts of clinical and operational data, which helps you understand the treatment pathways, the hospitalization costs for a disease, and the patient outcome. And professionals with hospital or clinical exposure communicate more effectively with physicians and healthcare systems because they understand real clinical challenges. In companies also, all pharma companies and all, they value the candidates who can bridge clinical practice with economic and outcome analysis. And a strong profile for HEOR often combines clinical hospital understanding, research mindset, analytical capability, and communication and publication skills. Therefore, for someone who's coming from a clinical development or medical affairs or hospital exposure can become a major differentiator when transitioning towards strategic HEOR leadership roles, may it be in industry or policy making at the government level. So it is open. So people who are working in hospital settings also, or having that exposure can come into this field of HEOR. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Next question is, what opportunities are available for pursuing master's, PhD, or international fellowships in HEOR and health economics? I would like to invite Dr. Pramil Tiwari, sir, to answer this question.
Sir, now you please open your mic. I think by any chance you left in between, so
No, no,
yeah,
no.
your
I have
co-host.
been. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Sharma. That has been a very interesting point. Can I reflect on that for 30 seconds before coming to the point that has been raised? Friends on meeting and Dr. Sharma, over last 25 years here, the place where I work, it's a very clear observation, and I say this with conviction. We have students, very meritorious students in pharmacy, but give them a clinical record and they have absolutely no clue what to be reading and where to be reading. One. Two, they have absolutely no clue what do you mean or what do you mean by a standard treatment guideline. And I think that's where the answer to the question that Dr. Gary has put up comes in. I would have rephrased this: why do I want to do a master's? Or why do I want to do a PhD? Dr. Gary and friends, everyone, uh, we need to understand where this research goes in. And when I mentioned about standard treatment guidelines, I don't have to tell this board and this esteemed house, but for the NAVE, I can certainly say that the outcome of this work goes into updating or revising the treatment guidelines. So instead of running for offshore campuses, which is an option, yes, I have a couple of students who are working offshore, and yeah, more than a couple of them. They are working offshore and they're perfectly, I mean, doing perfectly fine. But there are centers, and I'm sure no one else than Dr. Geeta could agree more. We have regional resource hubs. We have technical resource centers of the Department of Health Research of the Government of India, where we actually need people with this expertise. So I would say if it is for masters, yes, there are institutions. This program that we are talking of for last hour or something is one opportunity. I would say I could not find any specific program within the country that handles masters in health economics. No, there are programs run by the medical schools, but this is something very specialized. And as my friends, younger friends have said, they have all learned it on job. So I think we need to change that situation, and that's where Dr. Ajit and Dr. Richa, your initiative matters a lot. Thank you, Dr. Gary. I hope I have answered that.
Sir,
Thank you.
I would like to add to this. I'm sorry, Gary, if I am allowed.
Yes, sir, definitely.
So, what I observed, majority of the PharmD students and MPharm students in pharmacy practice, let me tell you, when they are in the fifth year, they have 6 months of the project, right? 6 months of the clinical research project. So, if they just do it properly, I'm not telling that you do the whole project and publish and then you will be successful. If you can understand the process properly, how you have done it, what was the methodology, what you have done, if you can just understand that, you will be, I'm very sure you will be a great researcher and you are eligible for HEOR or any kind of evidence synthesis or data research. Okay. And I have seen many of you, running from the internship, which is dedicated 1 year internship, no subject, no exam, nothing. You people think this is एक मजे का टाइम आ गया है, 1 साल हमको बस मजा करना है. This is a full freedom for us. We don't have to do anything. See, the people who made it, they made it with some senses. It is not simply, just created. If you just employ yourself 3 hours a day in the hospital, 3 hours a day in the hospital, I'm telling you, nobody can stop you. when you are going out from the industry, from the clinical research, from the HEOR or whatever, domain you want to go. But you have to invest yourself. This is the one lesson I want to tell you guys, because getting skilled, getting the real-time practical knowledge is very important. Okay. Yes, Dr. Hit Sarma, sir. You want to add on something to this? One sec, sir. I think, yeah, please open your mic, sir.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So very well said, Dr. Ajit. When I have interviews for the students who come from pharma background, it is, we look after the knowledge what they are, because I'll tell you, no company wants a fresher. They
Yes.
want people with experience. They want people with who have knowledge about the subject, because nobody will give you salary just for coming and getting trained for next 6
Absolutely.
months.
Yes.
Probation period is just a term.
True, sir.
I would hire someone, or any company would hire someone if you have some background knowledge about the subject for which you are being hired. If you are coming raw, fresh, maybe the next candidate after you is much more experienced, will take him.
Yep.
So it's always that. So having background knowledge about the subject, about the role you are coming for, is very, very important. So institute, what you are starting now today, it is very, very important for the pharma candidates. And, this will be very, very helpful when they come for the interviews later on to the pharma companies. Yeah.
True, sir. Very, very nice. Very, very optic them. Yes, absolutely. Yes, Gary, over to you.
Thank you so much to our advisory board members for sharing their valuable insights. Next question is, what advice would you give to women healthcare professionals aspiring to reach leadership and CEO level positions in healthcare and pharmaceutical industry? I would now request Dr. Richa ma'am to share her insights with us.
The right person to answer this question.
Thanks, Gary, and thanks, Dr. Ajit. First of all, happy Mother's Day to all, right? And it takes a village to raise a child. So whoever is involved in raising a child, mother, father, guardian, parent, um, I know it just takes a village. I need so many people with mine. Okay, so coming up to your question, I think rather than being about a male and a female, it's more about the conviction, the passion, putting every minute of effort what you want to achieve towards that. What worked for me, I can share that. Basically, the principle of learn, unlearn, and relearn. That is what I followed, and I still follow. And upskilling myself. I joined job after masters in pharmacy in pharmacology. After a few years working, and that's not few years, after 10 years of working, maybe I was a little late, I would say, when I started handling profit and loss and other things, I realized EBITDA, PAT, profit after tax, kaun sikhayega? So when those financial projections were shown on the screen in my job, I actually used to close my eyes and hide. I was so scared of debit, credit, all those terms. Nahi aata tha. Overhead transmission used to happen. Then I decided to overcome my fear, and overcoming challenges is something that we all should follow. I did MBA from NMIMS along with the job. Okay, I'll put it very honestly. Being from science background, nobody told me MBA was so tough. It was very tough. I literally cried when I read finance, management, and everything. Okay, but for 2 years, there was no Netflix, no Prime, no birthday party, no wedding, nothing in my life. Every night, I used to study from 9 to 11 p.m. My husband and my daughter knew, like, if Richa has to give dinner, we have to ask before 9. Otherwise, after that, we have to manage on our own. So you have to be disciplined, you have to be focused. And then after doing my MBA, coming from doctor's family, my parents are doctors, they always wanted me to have doctor in front of my name. And that was a need, a necessity in the job also, because people used to say, call your boss, like, you don't have doctor in front of your name. I again decided to do PhD, that is also along with the job. Same pattern followed. No Prime, no Netflix, nothing. But guys, all those movies are there in the Netflix and Prime. Today, they are at our disposal. Any day, I can go and I can watch any of the series, any of the movie 100 times, 200 times, 1,000 times. No one stops me. Okay. So, doing what matters to you at the right time, right moment, right point is very important. Another thing that I followed is, don't follow the herd mentality. मेरे friend ने SAS programming किया है. I also want to do the SAS programming. See whether you want to do it or not, whether it interests you or not. What is the need of today? follow your passion. Nowadays, you guys are lucky enough that you have so many tools, YouTube and all at your disposal, right? We are a little older than you. So I take this liberty to say, like, when I was studying, I had none of these exposures, right? Before the interview, my friends prepared me what is systematic review, what is everything. And then the question pops up, what is ITT population? I look at my friends and I say, ये तो तुमने prepare कराया ही नहीं. From where this question has come, right? But please use all the resources that you have at hand. So again, long story short, I think it's more than conviction, dedication and focus. What you want in life, right? For that, you have to be disciplined. It demands sacrifice, it demands focus. So go ahead and win it. Thank you everyone.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for giving such detailed clarity. Our next question is, healthcare startups and AI-based innovations are growing rapidly. What opportunities do you see for young healthcare professionals to become entrepreneurs in this space? I would like to invite Dr. Pramod Kumar Rajput to answer this question for us.
Thank you so much. I think a lot of the answer has already been given here, right? So I will not take much of the time to give the answer of this wonderful question. I said there are opportunities are there in the telemedicine, in the healthcare analytics, patient education platform, AI-based diagnostic, wearable health technology, which has been discussed, hospital efficiency solutions, and of course, the affordable healthcare model. So that's what I'm just writing. I've just written down the things. I said that is the right thing which I can summarize it. And already the question and answers were here. Thank you so much, Dr. Gary.
Thank you so much, sir. Finally, our last audience question. If you could give one important piece of advice for today's pharmacy and healthcare students for building a successful future career, what would it be? For this concluding question, I would like to invite Dr. Pramod Kumar Rajput and Dr. Pramil Tiwari to share their final words.
So thank you. I will just take again 1 minute of yours. What Dr. Richa said, that keep on scaling ourselves, which is very, very important. So first thing is, please keep upgrading your knowledge, because knowledge is it is an infinity, and everybody has to upgrade. It is not the student; everybody has to upgrade. Second thing is, please ensure that skills should be added in that, and the technology awareness through the short certification courses. So in that two ways, what he said. One is Dr. Saurav. What Saurav said is that the different platforms are available, so you have to utilize this. And the different courses which Dr. Ajit Singh and Dr. Richa is providing it. So please have that such type of the courses which is available there, and start taking the small projects. What Dr. Mahendra has said, right? So small projects are there, internships are there, which is very important, and also strong communication and the patient-centric approach. These are the 5, 6, 7 nuggets which I was able to find out while I was listening the great talk by the people, because that is the thing. Keep learning, keep putting focus yourself, and that is the way forward which is really required. And thank you once again, and Dr. Richa and Dr. Ajit, along with all the great members. I'm sure if you will take this HEOR seriously, sincerely, it is going to build your capacity, increase your capacity, and it is going to increase the credibility and capability, which is the real need of the hour. It is essentially required, and people will not be saying only for the experienced person what Dr. Hitler has said. If you put your hard work in that, understanding the things, you will be also taken in place of the experienced people, because you know the basic which is required. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Dr. Jeet and Dr. Richa ma'am, shall we conclude today's session considering the time constraints?
We are looking forward for the Pramil sir's comment on this, and then definitely we will go for vote of thanks.
Ajit, I think, thank you, Ajit. I would stick to what I said earlier. Each learner, if you wish to get into it, please have a larger view. If I can use the word drone's view, have a view of the entire pharmacy, how it operates. Don't stick to a particular specialization that you opted for.
Yes.
And the same way, don't keep yourself away from the healthcare system. Ajit, you very correctly pointed out procurement, manufacturing, and all. I think one has to be comprehensive. There cannot be a one piece of solution. Dr. Rajput, you very well captured that. Thank you, Ajit. Yeah, over to you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. So yes, thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Gary, for wonderful hosting and wonderful moderation. Thank you very much. And then I would like to thank all our panelists, all our advisory board, Professor Rajput sir, Dr. Geeta ma'am, Dr. Hit Sharma sir, Dr. Saurabh sir, Dr. Mahendra Rai sir. Every one of you have contributed very well. And Rajput sir, I wanted to say you, we are sitting after this meeting for 5 minutes because your voice is very low. मजा नहीं आ रहा है आजकल
Okay, okay,
मीटिंग्स में.
okay.
हम इसको ठीक करेंगे आज बैठ
ठीक
के,
है, ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है.
है
Right,
ना?
done.
बिकॉज कुछ तो प्रॉब्लम है आपकी तरफ से.
Okay, done.
And Dr. Richa, thank you very much. Thank you everyone for joining, and all the participants, thank you very much for joining. And I can see the entire team of Dual Sphere, very supportive team. And everyone, I can see Ravi, Ravi Bhai here. I could see Sarmila ji. I could see, many people. So guys, thank you very much. And my team also, I would like to thank my
Yes.
entire team for being so supportive, making it possible, making this institute possible. And they are literally working day and night. And I always come up with some new ideas, and they're like, "अरे फिर से नया कुछ लेके आ गया
Yeah.
ये."
We just throw ideas at them and they are just executed, right? So
Yeah.
thank
So
you.
it's very good. Always proud of you all and all the audience. Without you, it's not possible at all. Whenever we do something, it's always reached to 200, 300, and registrations for this were 600 plus, in a very short time. So thank you, everyone. And you have filled the form. Your certificates will be mostly delivered by the evening only. You will not wait for 2, 3 days. You will be getting the certificates mostly by the evening only. So thank you, everyone. All
Thank you,
again.
everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
One
Yes,
second,
sir.
please post the link of the certificate, because still somebody is asking that they need the link of the certificate. 1 second, please do put it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, here only.
Yes.
Right. Thank you.
Done.
Thank
I
you.
think people
Yeah.
are sharing.
Gary has posted. Yeah.
Gary has
Yeah.
just posted. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank
Okay.
you,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, sir. Thank you, Mahendra, sir.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sharma, sir. Thank you, PK, sir.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Geeta, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Saurabh, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Isha. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Dr. Jeet. Bye.
Thank you, Tiwari, sir. Thank you very much
No,
for the
thank you.
continuous guidance.
I don't. Oh,
Thank
okay,
you very
we
much.
have, I say, 100 people online, still online. So,
Yes.
Richa, how does it feel now?
Very nice, sir. It feels surreal, right? Something we
It is.
started. I mean, it's just the start. It's just the beginning, and we have a long road ahead, sir. We will keep on evolving, developing, structuring. Because, sir, जब हमने start किया था, systematic review was the HEOR. Then we saw modeling coming up, global value dossier. Now real world evidence. Now integration of AI and digital health. We have seen the spectrum growing, and as we evolve, I'm very sure we'll have much more new things added to it, right? अभी RW के लिए we have claims database, EMR, EHR, we have R, we have Python. I think in last 20 years or so, we have seen the evolution, sir. Right. And we will keep on evolving. We will keep it more structured and make students ready for the job. This is what the perspective is.
Yes.
Absolutely.
While I was listening to various members and trying to comprehend, I was also wondering, you have the right expertise, you have the experience coming in through Dr. Sharma, Dr. Prabodh Rajput, Dr. Geeta ma'am. I'm not discounting what the experience that Dr. Saurabh, Dr. Mahend, or you carry. But I would say the energies that you carry, yes, this is what is going to take it forward. And yes, I shall sit back and keep how it grows. I would be just a phone call away, right? So keep doing the good work, Richa and
Thank you, sir.
Ajit. And yeah,
Thank you, sir.
always there. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
I can see Ajit is on a call. That looks very much.
I am with Pramod, sir. I'm with Pramod, sir. He's just on call.
Maybe we can
I
end
can
the meeting with
understand.
Got
So
you,
this.
sir.
it's
Yeah.
very much.
Yeah.
I know. Sure. Carry
Thank
on.
you, sir.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir. Thank you very much.
Thank
I
Thank
think
you.
Abdullah
Thank
Anas
you, Ajit.
want to talk something? 1 second. I think if someone wants to talk, they can just open the mic. I'm sure our panel has gone, but yes, if someone wants to open the mic and speak something and talk. Yep.
Good
No?
afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon, ma'am. Please speak.
Sir, thank you so much for this giving this opportunity to join this.
Thank you, dear. Thank you very much that you have learned something, and thank you very much. Yes, anyone else? Okay, people, then thank you, everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Dr. Richa. Bye bye. Have a good